Let's see here. In terms of what we've been watching, before we get to the big topic of what we've been watching, I'll go ahead and bring up what I've been seeing on the Peacocks, because it's on the Peacock Network, as well as on CNBC, I think is where you can actually find this show on Tuesdays or Sundays or some shit. It doesn't matter. The show is called Leguizamo Does America. If you don't know who Leguizamo is, watch a little classic called The Pest, Spawn, Romeo and Juliet.
Man has a repertoire.
I was gonna say Romeo and Juliet, right?
Romeo and Juliet. He was in Tu Wong Fu, Letters to Dear Julie Newmar. It's a great movie. He was also in John Wick 1 and 2. Okay. Oh, and Super Mario Brothers. He was Luigi in Super Mario Brothers.
Oh yeah, the older one, yeah.
The original Super Mario Brothers. Yeah. I am a massive fan of John Leguizamo. I grew up watching all those movies. I grew up watching him, his stand-up. I'm absolutely, if I ever get to meet that man, I will lose my goddamn mind. I would love to interview him one day. But he's just, just an amazing comedian. And he's doing a show called Leguizamo Does America, where essentially he just goes to different cities and talks about Latin culture and different aspects of that culture in that city. The first 2 episodes that I have seen were New York and Miami. Eventually they'll go to Chicago, probably Texas, and some other places. And it's definitely just talking about what the flavors are of those specific areas, the music that comes from there, the hip hop influences, how much both hip hop is both in Black culture, but also Latin culture helped also with that as well, specifically in the Brooklyn area. Talking all the way to the foods, the sights and sounds, Broadway. What does it mean to be a fashion designer? Latinx as a concept. They have a whole section where they have a round table with like celebrities and talk about what does this mean for Latin culture of going both, with being traditionally a masculine, feminine language, and then introducing this concept of Latinx, so that way it's more inclusive for all. And they have, actually, the funniest thing, Frank, and you'll laugh your ass off on this, during that conversation, Fat Joe was sitting at the table eating food.
What the fuck is Fat Joe there?
No,
I haven't heard of that name in a long time.
So they actually play Big Pun in the show too, because of his influence in New York culture, and so Fat Joe was there as a representative of hip hop.
Fat Joe, hell yeah.
And
I guess so, yeah. I guess he would be a representative, wouldn't he? He would represent the Latin hip hop.
Exactly, which was awesome. And so they had like a round table of just people from like Spanish people that work in the restaurant industry, people that work obviously in music. And then this upcoming episode, I think, is going to have like George Lopez on it and some other people. But yeah, it's essentially just breaking down the different culture divide, going by, like, for instance, when they went to Florida, when they went to Miami, they talked about how it's very much a conservative area within the Cuban community because they came from Cuba, which obviously was a fascist dictatorship. They're very anti-fascist, they're very anti-socialist. And so it's definitely shows of like what was the trend within the last year, because when Obama went down to Miami, they were all about Obama. But then when Trump was around versus Hillary, they all basically flipped and it went straight, red state. And their summarization was that Hillary didn't go to Miami. Hillary didn't go to talk to these people. Obama did. And so they're basically saying, like, is a possibility to have this switch back the opposite direction with this upcoming election. So definitely curious.
I mean, you see that a lot with just like the general idea of like the concept of the South, right? Being like uneducated and like Republican, like cannot be changed and always like talked down to. And then when you look at the way like people who are like more left and think they're better than everybody because of that talks to people from that area regardless, like no wonder they're not going to be agreeing with you. You're treating them like they're idiots. Like if you're not even going to bother engaging with people, how can you expect them to support you?
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
It just leads to the culture of like people thinking that people are too scared to talk to X amount of group, right?
Yeah. And
right.
And it definitely contributes to it. And I feel like when it comes to the way that they were at least talking about in the documentary, there is some hope there, but they have to come with a conceit that some of the ideas that they came from, where they ran from Cuba, scares them. And so you have to be able to speak to that audience. And so I think that was a really great way of how on that episode they really brought that up, how they brought the Latinx in the New York episode. And I'm curious how they're going to go about it, obviously, with the next couple episodes. I think it's only like a 6-episode series. I'm having fun watching it. Just I don't watch shows like this. I don't watch learning shows. It sounds so stupid. I don't have time to watch, like History Channel and all that shit.
Are you talking about educational shows?
Educational shows.
Educational content.
Educational show.
And because I like
Mario's anti-education, you heard it here first.
That's right. I run my platform on anti-education. I'm not gonna go. I was gonna say some shit. I'm not gonna say that. But yeah.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah,
no, don't say that.
No, I won't. But John Leguizamo, he is a left-leaning person. I follow him on Twitter. He was hosting, obviously, the Daily Show for I think a week, and no, I just love him as a dude. I'm really happy I get to watch a show with him in it. He's like a comfort. He's like a comfort food from my childhood, and so to see him do this is kind of cool because I'm enjoying it for him, but I'm also enjoying it for the content that he's sharing. So wanted to bring that up. If you want to watch that is in Peacock. Yeah, it's on Peacock. If you want,
I wish it was literally anywhere else.
I know. If you,
Yeah.
I guess you could watch it
Peacock.
on MSNBC or some bullshit.
MSNBC.
That's where it is.
Okay.
But it's on
It is?
Peacock.
Oh,
Yeah. But
oh.
Peacock owns NBC, so that's why.
Got it.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.